Got to give a big shout out to LitRPG Reads and our friend Paul Bello.
Yeah.
Fine fellow for sending over some awesome source material.
Love his stuff.
Yeah, this one's got me thinking back to a campaign a while back where we had this gnome illusionist.
Oh, wow.
And he had us all fooled for weeks.
Oh, no.
We all thought he was this, like, powerful elven sorcerer.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, bam, the disguise drops.
Yeah.
And it's this mischievous little gnome pulling all the strings.
Oh.
It was amazing.
That's fantastic.
I know, right?
It really speaks to what makes gnomes so compelling.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
That deceptive potential, the way they defy expectations.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Okay.
How to maximize your D&D gnome's potential.
Awesome.
Drawing insights from this LitRPG Reads article called The Perfect Class, Maximizing Your D&D Gnome Character's Potential.
So you've got this awesome gnome concept in your head.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure they're not just surviving, but thriving.
Exactly.
Well, we're here to help you optimize that little powerhouse, no matter what class you're leaning towards.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get hung up on that, picking that first class.
Yeah. But before we get lost in the endless possibilities, let's talk synergy.
Okay.
Not all classes are created equal.
That's true.
When it comes to gnomely goodness.
You got that right.
Right.
The article highlights this gnome class synergy matrix.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fascinating.
Okay.
Think of it like this.
Right.
Some classes are like a comfy pair of slippers for a gnome.
Oh, okay.
They just fit.
I like it.
Others might require some creative tailoring to really shine.
Okay.
Artificer and Wizard.
Yeah.
Those are top-tier picks.
Because the intelligence.
Yeah. Due to that sky-high intelligence gnomes are known for.
Oh, yeah. Artificers.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Totally.
Right.
You've got this race known for tinkering, for building crazy contraptions.
Yeah.
Suddenly they're crafting magical items, enhancing weapons with the touch of clockwork brilliance.
I love it.
It's like that rock gnome racial trait.
Yeah.
Tinker was made for this class.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Imagine the possibilities.
Oh, yeah.
A gnome crafting a clockwork bird that not only delivers messages, but records enemy conversations.
Oh, that's cool.
Right?
I love it.
Or a music box.
Okay.
That doesn't just play a tune.
Yeah.
But emits an aura of calmness.
Oh, wow.
To soothe a raging barbarian.
That's amazing.
And it's not all about offense either.
Right. They can be surprisingly defensive, too.
I was just going to say that.
Think about it.
Yeah.
They're already masters of crafting. So shields enchanted to deflect spells, traps that spring up with a puff of alchemical smoke.
That's awesome.
A gnome artificer's workshop is basically a dungeon master's nightmare.
Oh, absolutely.
You walk in there and you're like, oh, no.
It's over.
What have I gotten myself into?
Their intelligence doesn't just power their inventions.
Right.
It powers their tactical thinking.
Absolutely.
They're problem solvers at heart.
Yeah.
So whether it's crafting a magical shield or potion of fire resistance,
right,
they're using their skills to turn the tide in their favor.
Yeah.
And then there's the wizard.
The classic.
Another class that screams gnome potential.
Oh, for sure.
Again, high intelligence means powerful spell casting.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate.
Right away.
But it's more than that.
It is.
Gnomes aren't just throwing fireballs around. They're thinking strategically about their spells.
Right.
Optimizing every cantrip and incantation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They see the battlefield like a giant puzzle.
Oh, cool.
And spells are their tools to manipulate it.
I love it.
A gnome wizard might not have the raw power of a dragonborn sorcerer.
Sure.
But they'll outmaneuver you with illusions, control the flow of combat with well-placed control spells, and always have a contingency plan up their sleeve.
Don't forget about those defensive spells.
Oh, right.
A gnome wizard isn't afraid to throw up a shield spell, to deflect attacks, or conjure an illusionary duplicate.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right.
To confuse enemies.
Exactly.
And when you factor in subraces...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy, things get even more interesting.
Tell me more.
That forest gnome minor illusion trait.
Yeah.
Perfect for a sneaky spellcaster.
Oh, yeah.
Picture this.
Okay.
You're facing a forest gnome wizard. They cast minor illusion, making it seem like a wall has sprung up.
Oh.
Right in front of them.
Okay.
You hesitate trying to figure out what's going on, and bam!
Oh, no.
They hit you with a firebolt from behind their illusory cover. So sneaky.
Deception and magic. It's a powerful combo.
Powerful combo. Gnomes might be small.
Right.
But they're definitely not to be underestimated.
That's for sure.
When it comes to the arcane arts.
No way.
Speaking of underestimated.
Okay.
We've got to talk about those gnomes who prefer to work in the shadows.
Okay.
The masters of stealth and agility.
Oh, yeah.
The rogues.
The rogues.
Yeah.
Don't let their size fool ya. These gnomes are experts at exploiting every nook and cranny.
Yeah.
While others might see their stature as a limitation.
Sure.
A clever gnome rogue sees it as an advantage.
I like it.
Suddenly, tight spaces become escape routes.
Okay.
And dim lighting becomes a cloak of invisibility.
They just disappear.
Ooh.
Gone. And their natural dexterity makes them perfect for sneaking, disarming traps.
Picking locks.
Picking locks.
Yeah.
They're like little shadows slitting through dungeons.
Always one step ahead of their enemies.
And when it comes to subraces.
Oh, yeah. Subraces.
Forest gnomes.
Yes.
Oh, man. Their natural camouflage is practically begging for a rogue build.
Right.
Imagine a forest gnome rogue blending seamlessly into the foliage, hailing their target through a dense forest. They're practically invisible, gathering intel, setting up ambushes.
That's scary.
And striking when their enemies least expect it.
Wow.
And don't forget about deep gnomes.
Oh, deep gnomes, right.
Those masters of the Underdark,
yeah.
They're born for subterranean campaigns.
Okay.
Navigating those twisty tunnels like it's their own backyard.
Yeah, they know those tunnels.
They really do.
Okay, but my personal favorite.
Okay, what's that?
The arcane trickster.
Oh, yeah.
It's like taking that roguish cunning
yeah,
and spicing it up with a dash of illusion magic.
A little spice.
Yeah. Suddenly you've got a gnome who's not just picking pockets.
Yeah.
They're making your coin pouch disappear with a wave of their hand.
That's amazing.
Right.
The arcane trickster is all about blending stealth and magic.
Yeah.
They might create an illusionary double to distract their pursuers.
Okay.
Use disguise self to blend into a crowd.
All right.
Or even make a treasure chest appear empty.
Oh, wow.
While they're secretly making off with the loot.
I love it.
It's all about deception and misdirection. And gnomes are masters of both.
They are masters of both.
Yeah.
And remember that small size isn't just good for hiding.
Yeah.
It's a tactical advantage on the battlefield.
Absolutely.
A gnome rogue can weave between the legs of larger opponents.
Okay.
Flanking them for sneak attacks.
Yep.
Or even using their smaller weapons.
Yeah.
To find weak points in their armor.
Right.
They're like,
I mean,
little whirlwinds of blades and trickery.
It's true.
And trying to pin them down is a nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Good luck with that.
They turn what others perceive as a weakness into their greatest strength.
I love that.
And that's a theme we'll see again and again.
Yeah.
As we delve deeper into the world of gnome character optimization.
Cool.
They take what they're given and make it their own.
They really do.
Pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah, pushing those boundaries.
But what about those gnomes who are drawn to a more spiritual path, who seek to heal and protect rather than deal damage? Can they find a place?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right.
Among the clerics and druids.
Yeah. So we were talking about gnomes who walk a more spiritual path.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'll admit, when I think cleric, my mind goes to like beefy dwarves.
Okay.
Or stoic humans.
Right.
Standing on the front lines.
Yeah.
Radiating holy power.
Yeah.
Can a gnome, even with their intelligence and charm, really pull off that kind of divine presence?
I think it's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
And I think it highlights a misconception about clerics.
Okay.
They're not just about being a tank soaking up damage while everyone else attacks.
Yeah.
A gnome cleric might not have the raw strength of a half-orc.
Sure.
But their intelligence allows them to approach healing and support from a more strategic angle.
Okay, so maybe they're not the ones standing in the thick of battle.
Yeah.
But they're the ones making sure everyone else stays alive.
Exactly.
What would a strategic healer
right.
look like in a D&D campaign?
Imagine a gnome cleric
Okay.
perched on a high vantage point, surveying the battlefield.
Okay.
They're not just throwing out random heals.
Yeah.
They're analyzing the flow of combat,
Right.
predicting who's going to need help next.
Oh, wow.
And maybe even using their spells to bolster their allies' defenses before they take a hit.
I can see it now.
Right.
They're like the battlefield medic, calling out instructions, directing the flow of healing energy,
right,
and maybe even throwing in a well-placed sanctuary spell to protect a wounded comrade.
And with that gnome love for tinkering, I bet they've got some tricked-out holy symbols and enchanted bandages, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Their ingenuity
exactly
extends to their divine magic as well.
And let's not forget the domain options.
Right.
A gnome cleric of the trickery domain. Oh, that's where things get fun.
Now we're talking.
They're using illusions and misdirection to heal their allies and confound their enemies at the same time.
It's like a divine prankster.
Right. Suddenly, that healing potion turns out to be a smoke bomb.
Oh, no.
And the enemy is left dazed and confused while the party makes a strategic retreat.
What about those gnomes?
Yeah.
Who are truly in tune with nature.
Okay.
The ones who find solace in like the rustling leaves and the whispers of the wind.
Oh, yeah.
Can they find a place among the Druids?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Especially those forest gnomes with their innate connection to the natural world.
It just makes sense.
They're not just casting spells. They're channeling the power of the forest itself.
I like it.
Communing with animals and shaping the very landscape around them.
Now, when I picture a Druid, I think of someone who can transform into a bear or a wolf, unleashing primal fury on their enemies. Can a gnome, even with their connection to nature, really pull off that kind of raw power?
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
Remember, wild shape isn't just about becoming a big, scary beast.
Okay.
It's about adaptability.
Sure.
About becoming one with nature and using that power to your advantage. A gnome druid might not transform into a bear. But they could become a nimble squirrel. Scouting ahead, gathering intel.
Right.
Or maybe even stealing a key from an unsuspecting guard.
I love that. Or playing to their strength, using their small size and agility to their advantage.
And imagine the possibilities for role-playing.
Oh, yeah.
A gnome druid who can speak with animals, negotiating with a pack of wolves to help them track down a lost child.
Oh, wow.
Or convincing a swarm of ravens to deliver a message.
Yeah.
It's like having a whole network of woodland spies.
It really is.
At your disposal.
And it's not just about stealth and information gathering.
No.
Imagine you're facing a group of enemies in a dense forest. Your known druid. Instead of charging in head first, transforms into a poisonous snake.
Oh, wow.
Slithering through the undergrowth, delivering venomous strikes from unexpected angles.
That's terrifying.
They're turning their size into a weapon. Using their connection to nature. To become a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely.
So we've seen how gnomes can be surprisingly effective as spellcasters, rogues, and even divine healers and nature-wielding druids. But can they really hold their own on the battlefield as fighters and paladins?
That's a great question.
I mean, those classes seem like they'd be better suited to those beefy orcs and towering humans.
That's a common misconception. That gnomes are too small, too fragile for the front lines. But remember, strength comes in many forms.
That's true.
A gnome might not win a wrestling match against a half-orc.
Probably not.
But they can outmaneuver, outsmart, and outlast their opponents with a combination of tactical brilliance and sheer tenacity.
So how would a known fighter approach combat? They're not going to be charging and swinging a giant axe.
Probably not.
Are they?
They're more likely to be relying on speed, agility, and precision. Think fencing rather than brawling. They might favor lighter weapons, like rapiers or short swords, using their quick reflexes to parry attacks and land swift counter blows.
And their smaller size could actually be an advantage in combat.
Absolutely.
It makes them a harder target to hit.
For sure.
Especially for larger enemies who are used to fighting opponents their own size.
Exactly.
I can see them darting between legs, using their opponent's bulk against them. And finding those weak points in their armor.
Exactly.
And don't forget about their intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
A gnome fighter isn't just reacting. They're thinking ahead.
Absolutely.
Anticipating their opponent's moves. And exploiting every opening.
They might use the terrain to their advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Setting up ambushes, creating choke points, or even using their knowledge of engineering to build makeshift traps.
They're turning the battlefield into their own personal puzzle.
Using their cunning and their creativity to outwit their opponents and claim victory.
Oh, what about the paladin?
Yeah, the best.
That class seems all about righteous fury, divine power, and standing strong in the face of evil. Can a gnome
embody that?
Really embody that kind of presence?
Well, remember, a paladin's power isn't just about physical strength. It's about their unwavering conviction, their devotion to their oath, and their ability to inspire those around them. And gnomes, with their strong sense of community and their inherent desire to do good in the world, are perfectly capable of embodying those ideals.
So they might not be the ones leading the charge, but they're the ones bolstering their allies' spirits, healing their wounds, and maybe even using their smaller size to slip past enemy lines and deliver a decisive blow.
Precisely.
And their aura of protection, regardless of their size, can still be a powerful boon to their companions.
Absolutely.
They're the heart of the party.
Right.
The ones who keep everyone going.
Yep.
When the chips are down.
It's like that saying, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
I love that.
And gnomes, despite their diminutive stature, have a lot of fight in them.
They do.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to choosing an oath, there are plenty of options that align perfectly with a gnome's personality and strengths.
The Oath of Redemption, for example. Focusing on peace and forgiveness could be a perfect fit. For a gnome who wants to use their words and their actions to bring harmony to the world.
I like it.
Or maybe they swear the Oath of the Ancients, drawing on their connection to nature to protect the balance of the natural world.
So gnomes can be effective fighters and paladins. But maybe not in the traditional sense. They're using their unique strength. Their agility, their intelligence, their unwavering spirit to carve out their own path on the battlefield.
I like that.
They're proving that heroism comes in all shapes and sizes.
All shapes and sizes.
But we've still got a few more classes to cover. And some fascinating subrace distinctions to explore.
Can't wait.
Stick with us. All right, so we're back and ready to dive into those remaining arcane classes, sorcerers and rangers.
Those are interesting ones.
Now, I know gnomes are known for their intelligence, for being like tinkerers and planners. But sorcerers always seem more about raw magical power, instinct over intellect. Can a gnome really thrive? In a class like that?
I think it's an interesting question because it forces us to think about where a gnome's magic comes from. They might not have a wizard's years of study or an artificer's meticulous craftsmanship, but their magic feels almost inherent, like a spark of creativity woven into their very being.
So it's less about learning spells and more about channeling that inner spark.
I think so.
Like their magic is an extension of their personality, their way of interacting with the world. And when you look at the sorcerer's origin options, it all starts to click. Imagine a gnome with a draconic bloodline. Their magic, a fiery inherit from some ancient dragon ancestor.
That's cool.
Or maybe they're a wild magic sorcerer. They're every spell tinged with unpredictable chaos, a reflection of that mischievous gnome spirit.
Oh, man. wild magic for a gnome.
Right.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster, or maybe the most entertaining campaign ever.
Right.
I can just picture a gnome sorcerer trying to cast Firebolt and accidentally summoning a flock of chickens instead.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right.
That would be so fun.
That's the beauty of it, right? Yeah. They're embracing the unpredictable, turning chaos into a tactical advantage. And with meta magic, they can further shape that wild power.
How so?
Imagine them using subtle spell to cast a powerful enchantment without anyone noticing.
That's sneaky.
Or using quicken spell to unleash 2 spells in a single turn, overwhelming their opponents with a torrent of arcane energy.
It's like they're playing jazz with magic.
Totally.
Improvising.
Yeah.
Taking risks. And always keeping everyone on their toes.
Always keeping them guessing.
But what about rangers?
Okay, rangers.
They seem more grounded, more focused on the natural world, on survival skills and wilderness mastery. How does a gnome fit into that?
Yeah,
rugged archetype.
Well, remember, gnomes might be small. But they have a strong connection to nature.
Right.
Especially those forest gnomes.
Yeah, forest gnomes, of course.
They're often depicted as protectors of the forest, living in harmony with the plants and animals.
Right.
And that makes them natural candidates for the ranger path.
And their size, instead of being a hindrance, could actually be an asset.
It could be.
In the wilderness.
Right.
They can move through dense undergrowth with ease, climb trees to gain a big vantage point, and track their prey with incredible stealth.
They're practically made for wilderness campaigns.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
And there's subrace benefits.
Oh, yeah, subraces.
Really shine here.
Tell me about it.
Forest gnomes get those bonuses
Okay.
to nature skills, the ability to talk to small animals,
Oh, right.
and that natural camouflage
I love the camouflage.
that makes them practically invisible in the woods.
Right, they just blend right in.
They're not just surviving in the wilderness.
Yeah.
They're thriving in it.
They are part of it.
Yeah.
It's like they're the eyes and ears of the forest.
They like that.
Gathering information, scouting out dangers. And always one step ahead of their enemies.
But when it comes to combat,
combat.
What kind of fighting style would a gnome ranger adopt?
Yeah, what would they use?
I mean, they're not exactly known for their brute strength.
That's true.
That's where their versatility comes in.
Okay, I like it.
They could be skilled archers, using their keen eyesight and steady hands to pick off enemies from a distance.
Makes sense.
Or they might prefer a more agile approach.
Okay.
Dual-wielding daggers or short swords, using their speed and maneuverability to outmaneuver their opponents.
I can even see them using traps and snares.
Oh, yeah.
Turning the environment itself into a weapon.
Absolutely.
They're not just fighting in the wilderness.
Right.
They're using the wilderness to their advantage.
And with their favored enemy.
Oh, yeah. Favorite enemy?
And natural explorer features can specialize in specific types of terrain and creatures, becoming true masters of their chosen domain.
So they might be experts in tracking undead through a haunted swamp.
That's awful.
Or hunting giants in a mountainous region.
They're not just rangers. They're specialists, adapting their skills to specific challenges and environments.
Okay, so we've talked about all these different classes.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
But I think it's time to zoom in on those subrace distinctions.
Yeah, the subrace.
Those little details that can make a gnome character truly unique.
Absolutely.
Forest gnomes versus rock gnomes.
Right, the classic matchup.
Let's break it down.
Let's do it.
It's a crucial step.
It is.
In character optimization.
Because each subrace brings its own flavor.
Yeah, they really do.
To the table.
Forest gnomes, as we've discussed, are all about that connection to nature.
Yeah.
That innate agility and stealth. And that mischievous streak. That makes them such fun characters to play.
So much fun.
So we're talking rogues, rangers, druids, maybe even bards.
Yeah, you could see that.
Classes that let them slip through the shadows, talk to animals. And maybe play a few pranks on their unsuspecting companions.
A little bit of mischief.
Exactly.
And that minor illusion racial trait.
Oh, yeah. Minor illusion.
Is a gift that keeps on giving.
It is a gift.
A forest gnome rogue could use it to create distractions.
Okay.
Mislead their enemies. Or even make themselves appear
Oh, why?
Larger and more intimidating.
I can picture a forest gnome illusionist standing on a tree stump, using minor illusion to make themselves look like a giant.
Oh, wow.
Terrifying a group of bandits into fleeing.
That's amazing.
It's the ultimate David and Goliath story.
Right.
With a little gnome magic.
A little gnome twist.
Thrown in for good measure.
And don't forget about their ability to communicate with small animals.
They can talk to animals.
A forest gnome ranger could have a whole network of woodland informants, gathering information from squirrels and birds, or even sending messages via trained ravens. It's like having a built-in spy network.
They're turning their connection to nature into a source of power and knowledge.
I love that.
They're not just part of the forest.
Yeah.
They're in tune with it.
They understand?
Understanding its secrets and wielding its power.
But what about rock gnomes?
Okay, rock gnomes.
They seem more grounded.
More practical.
More focused on the practical and the mechanical.
Right, they like to build stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
Rock gnomes are the tinkerers, the inventors, the ones who see the world as a giant puzzle waiting to be solved.
I like it.
They're all about logic precision and that spark of creative genius that allows them to build incredible contractions and push the boundaries of what's possible.
So we're talking artificers, wizards, maybe even some multi-class combination.
Oh, yeah, multi-class.
That let them blend magic and technology.
Absolutely.
A rock gnome artificer could be building
all sorts of incredible devices. What? Clockwork spiders that scuttle through dungeons.
That's cool.
Self-lighting lanterns.
Oh, that's practical.
Maybe even a tiny mechanical familiar.
Oh, wow.
That assists them in battle.
I love it.
And with that tinker racial trait,
tinker,
they can customize their creations, adding unique features and upgrades that make them even more powerful and effective.
I can see a rock gnome artificer with a workshop full of strange and wonderful inventions.
Oh, absolutely.
Constantly tinkering, experimenting, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
That's like their life's work.
They're not just building gadgets. They're pushing the limits of gnome ingenuity.
And rock gnome wizards.
Yeah. Rock gnome
wizards. They'd be just as formidable.
They approach magic with a scientific mind.
Okay.
Studying its principles, experimenting with its applications, and finding innovative ways.
Yeah, to combine it with their technological prowess.
So they might not be as flashy or unpredictable as a wild magic sorcerer, but they're just as powerful.
They are.
In their own way.
Using their intellect and their creativity to control the battlefield and outsmart their opponent.
They're the master strategists. Yeah. The ones who always have a plan, and they're not afraid to use a little bit of magic and a lot of ingenuity to make that plan a reality.
And that brings us to another important aspect of gnome character optimization.
What's that?
Multiclassing.
Multiclassing.
It's like taking those subrace distinctions and amplifying them. Blending different class abilities to create a truly unique and versatile character.
So imagine a forest gnome who's not just a stealthy rogue, but also a skilled druid, able to transform into animals and wield the power of nature. Or a rock gnome. Who's both a brilliant artificer and a formidable fighter.
Oh, wow.
Able to build incredible gadgets and wield them with deadly precision.
That sounds amazing.
The possibilities are endless.
They really are.
Multiclassing allows you to take those core gnome strengths, their agility, their intelligence, their connection to nature, or their love of technology, and combine them in ways that would be impossible. With a single class.
And it's not just about mechanics.
Right, it's about the character.
It's about creating a character with a rich backstory and a compelling personality.
Right. Why did your gnome choose to pursue two different paths?
Yeah, what happened?
What events in their past led them to develop such a diverse skill set?
Those are the questions that breathe life into a character. And gnomes with their inherent curiosity and their love of adventure are perfect for exploring those multi-class possibilities.
They really are.
They're always eager to learn new things, to push their limits, and to see what happens when they mix a little bit of magic with a lot of gnome ingenuity.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From artificers to wizards, rogues to paladins, forest gnomes to rock gnomes.
Yeah, all sorts of gnomes.
We've explored the mechanics, the tactics, the personality traits that make gnomes such compelling characters.
But the real question is, what kind of gnome will you create?
Right. What kind of gnome will you create?
We've given you the tools, the insights, the inspiration. Now it's your turn to build something amazing.
Build your gnome.
What kind of gnome character are you brewing up?
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
We'd love to hear your ideas.
And a huge thanks to our friend Paul Bello.
Yes, Paul.
Fine fellow.
Fine fellow.
For suggesting this deep dive into the wonderful world of gnome character optimization.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Happy gaming.